perfect.
Yeah.
It's easier because I have my money here on my PC, and anywhere I go, I can spend it. When I was coming to South Africa, for instance, in March, I thought I was going to spend 2-3 weeks away from home and I'll be back to Mauritius. So because I was going to run a blockchain camp in Lesotho after the conference in South Africa. So I didn't even travel along with my my cold wallet, and just had some budgets on my cell phone and then on my PC. And it has been very cool. It has been that decision not to travel along with my cold wallet has affected me seriously. I now have to ask people to give me money to survive till I get to where my crypto bank is before I can pay them. But imagine if I have all these things up. So it is easier. Everywhere you go, you can survive without going through the legacy financial system. So this is very perfect for third world countries like Africa and weak economies, as you prefer to call it. It is a perfect tool. What you call permissionless. You don't need permission from anybody to do it. Everybody can get involved. You just have to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's fine. So cryptocurrency, like, it gives freedom, as you said, but we've seen that even though even though adoption is not that active across the world, but we are seeing adoption happening every day. So the next question I want to ask is, how is the usage of decentralized finance or cryptocurrency in developed economies as compared to the economies we are having here in African or Haiti communities?
You want us to compare the difference between adoption in developed countries and
Africa?
Yeah, I think gradually Africans are discovering cryptocurrencies from Accra to Addis Ababa and from Cape to Cairo. As I said earlier,
hello.
22 Africa countries. Hi.
I think the question was based. The question was based on.
Yeah, the starting. I can hardly hear you. Can you
The question was not adoption. If the moderator can reframe, or.
Oh, okay, so can you rephrase it or probably write it down? Because for me, the network is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, sorry if I interrupt. So please, if you have a question now, can you please write in the chat, because the connection is not super good and we can't hear you, Habib, very well. So if you have a question, please write in the chat, and then Frisco will answer to the questions there.
Yeah. So
okay. So
Hadia, you were saying that the question you have to.
So
it is not how I understood it.
Well, maybe what we're trying to say is that how does the usage of cryptocurrency differ from the developed economies and then third world countries?
Okay, so in developed countries, people might be seeing cryptocurrencies as a store of value to hold. Okay. In Africa, many people see it the same way, but since there's a lot of inflation this side, but we are finding usage in it for remittances. If you go on Passful, for instance, people are trying to. Myself, I have 2 daughters back home in Ghana, and my first daughter, she's 13 years. She got her wallet on her 12th birthday, and if I'm sending her funds, I just if until she got to know how she can basically change crypto in Ghana for herself through PayPlus, I basically will have to just go to PayPlus and then send Bitcoin to PayPlus, and then PayPlus will send her cryptocurrencies. CDs in mobile money, and then she will definitely share with her younger sister by sending it to her younger sister's mother, or probably giving it to my mom to, take care of her expenses. The same thing, if I'm sending money to my mom, I go through the same process. There are some people, I have some business and I have to help here and there. I'm using Passful and PayPlus to send them money. Even friends and other families I've made along my way through my trip across Africa, I've been using this system, and it is not just me. Everywhere I go to the passport platform, I can easily exchange Bitcoin, and there are so many people using it for remittances. So it is being used as an instrument of investment in with the Western world and as a store of value. Africans are doing that because you also have a huge problem with things like inflation, which is very terrible here. But we are also finding uses like remittances and stuff like merchant adoption. Like my camera I'm using now, 2 years ago, I bought it in Sundown with Bitcoin, Sundown, South Africa with Bitcoin. So like, you know, Nigeria is very much ahead of crypto adoption in Africa, but you don't see much what you call merchant adoption in Nigeria. I remember in 2017, me and Salam Muhammadu and some of my associates from the Africa Blockchain University were in Nigeria to run merchant adoption workshop in Nigeria for merchants. But I haven't seen any merchant accepting crypto in Nigeria so far. On this trip, I've been to Nigeria like 7 times. But in South Africa, I know places I can go and spend my Bitcoin. There's a bar, there's a restaurant, there's a shop, I can go in there. And according to a payment regulation, anyone who accepts pay fast, a payment method called pay fast in South Africa, can also accept cryptocurrencies. So yeah, it's similar, but Africans are making use of it to avoid, high remittance fees. As you know, it's like the average is like 7 to 12% when it comes to remittances.
Yeah, that's right. So with your experience in cryptocurrency, have you heard about use cases of stable coins and decentralized finance protocols?
To be honest with you, personally, in Africa, people I've seen using stable coins, actually, they are using it for trading, for hedging, in order to avoid the volatility. I haven't seen people trying to use stablecoin as maybe I'm traveling to Dubai to trade or to buy goods to come and sell, and then I change my money into, say, a stablecoin, a particular stablecoin, and when I get there, I change it to fiat and buy my stuff and come. I haven't seen anything like that yet. And I've seen people also getting into the DeFi space by, kind of picking up loans in crypto and stuff. But I haven't seen much usage for stablecoin in Africa, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Except traders in the space.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe we need to just intensify the promotion of stable coins to us.
I think so. Our associate, Kosham Azim, have written a book about stable coin. And I think it's an ebook and he's offering it for free. And you can download it from our website, the Africa Blockchain University website, for free. So I think it can, we can help with, spreading the idea of stablecoin across the continent.
So in general, why do you think cryptocurrency can be relevant for the African society?
In fact, in so many ways, like I was mentioning how I send money home and across Africa to friends and families I've made throughout my journey. And then the fact that you look at my life, I'm an Afropi. I love Africa. I'm an anarchist. I've always wanted to live a life of freedom, a life away from, these horrible governments that are littered all over Africa. And cryptocurrency has given me that freedom and that prosperity. If younger people are to discover cryptocurrencies, I think African youth will be able to escape poverty. They will be able to live meaningful life. We will create a lot of millionaires across the continent. And this is what we must all kind of try to endeavor to do. I like what you guys are doing like this, trying to reach everyone everywhere on the continent with such education without even traveling from where you are. Let's make use of technology. Let's make use of anything we have at the moment to make sure that Africans do understand these technologies and put it to good use. It is going to help us so much to escape the rampant, printing of money. I was reading an article yesterday about Ghana, how Ghana spent over 360 million Ghana cedis to print new currency of 50 and 100 notes.
200.
It is sickening. It tells you of a government that is bereft of ideas. They are talking of central bank digital currency. The question you should be asking them is your central currency, is your central bank digital currency going to be fixed in supply? Is that going to arrest the inflation and the printing of money that costs the taxpayers so much money? So I think people can use it to hedge inflation. People can use it to, the store of value in it can help people to escape poverty. It can also create a lot of jobs for young people. I mean, you are witness to this. All those young people who understood what I was preaching in Ghana and took it serious, they've changed their life completely because of cryptocurrencies. They are living meaningful lives they never anticipated. We can replicate it all over Africa if we want to share our successes with other people. So for me, cryptocurrency is a huge thing. It's the biggest gold mine for Africa that we need to tap into. We need to give to our young people so that they can escape poverty and all the difficulties on this continent when it comes to economics.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay, with this experience, your years of experience in cryptocurrency, we've seen that even though adoption is getting, every day we see adoption happening in Ghana, but the question I want to ask is, what are the entry barriers and to cryptocurrency in Africa from your experience?
From my perspective, I think there are two issues when it comes to barriers to entry into this space. Let's talk about ignorance. A lot of people still don't know about this currency, this technology, and if they do not understand it. Some people still think it's scam, what they call Sakawa back home. I remember when I was back home, people were calling me scammer because I would tell them about cryptocurrencies. But I used to tell them that, look, before you Southerners realize that dog meat is a delicacy, we Northerners would have finished eating them all. So just chill. But, I mean, how can you say an anarchist is a thief? Because, I mean, theft is an anathema to, people who believe in my philosophy. So the thing is, when we talk about ignorance, there are two ways altogether here. People who have heard about it, but there are misconceptions. They think it is a scam. And people who do not know about it at all. And these are the people we need to reach out to and help them understand the technology. And it is very disheartening because it is these same people who fall victims to scams. Because, I mean, bad people will always take advantage of any situation to dupe innocent and ignorant people. And then on the other hand, we have internet connections. They are improving day in, day out in Africa, but it's still a problem. It's either expensive or it's just horrible in some African countries or so many countries. I mean, look at a country like South Africa. Internet connection is very solid, but it's expensive. You come to Zimbabwe, internet connection here is very solid, though they are inland and have to depend on fiber optic from South Africa. Internet connection here is very solid. People have access to Wi-Fi in Zimbabwe more than people in Ghana. I've lived here before. I think you know that. This place was my base when I started my talk. But affordability is an issue because this is an alien economy. So how many people can afford $50 for unlimited internet per month or $100 unlimited internet? But even if you compare it to Ghana, then Zimbabwe has got cheaper internet than Ghana because like unlimited internet of $100, some are even $50 unlimited on some network. I don't think you can ever get that in Ghana, like that. You can get unlimited internet, a Wi-Fi internet for 600 cedis a month. So that is the issue. If you go to places like Uganda, the internet connection there is quite horrible. It's because they are inland and stuff. So internet accessibility is a problem. And these are, to me, these are the two issues. And then I can also say that probably a third issue is government attitude.
Okay.
And it also comes back to the first factor I was talking about, which is ignorance, and at the same time, fear of losing control. Because now you are talking about the currency that is deflationary in nature. And if we allow this to take root over here, then we are going to lose our power of creating money and printing money to enrich ourselves and making the masses poor. And the fact that some governments are totally ignorant about the whole thing. Look at Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has a currency that is very horrible. Recently, I posted a video of how I swapped $10 for 2 bundles of Zimbabwean dollars. That could just buy me 6 bottles of beer. I think just this Sunday, I posted it on Twitter and on LinkedIn, and then I use it on my Facebook, what do you call it, stories, and then on my WhatsApp status and stuff, you know. So for such a country to ban cryptocurrency exchanges, that is the interesting part. Zimbabwe hasn't banned cryptocurrency. They've rather banned cryptocurrency exchanges. So if I don't ban the cryptocurrency, but I ban the exchanges, how are you going to get access to cryptocurrencies? So then again, it is these things with governments, access to internet, and then ignorance of the masses, which I think is something we can solve it, because now we've all seen the benefits we've gained from cryptocurrencies, and I are making efforts to make efforts that will help others to, you know, discover these technologies and use it to change their lives.
Wow, that's fine. We have so many questions for you, and I think if we don't start, we have to start addressing the questions, because if not, our time might not be good for us. Okay, so there's a question here for you from David. He says, do you regret spending in Bitcoin versus something like a stable coin like DAI?
Do I regret
spending in Bitcoin versus something like a stable coin?
I've honestly never owned a stable coin.
Why?
I don't know. I've never owned a stable coin because I'm not a trader. I'm not a trader. You know, everyone has got his own specialization in this space. I won't say I know everything about this space. I don't know how to trade. If you see me trading, it's just like converting one crypto to another, or maybe converting crypto into fiat. I don't trade. I don't know anything about trading, even though we are structuring a course with the Alpha group of companies in South Africa to teach young Africans how to trade free of charge. I don't know anything about trading. Probably I should learn the basis of the whole thing. I don't know anything.
No problem.
I've never held stable coins before.
Okay. So I think that should be the first stable coin you will.
You people should. I'll set up a wallet, then you can toss some my way.
Okay. All right. So where do you see Africa in the crypto or blockchain space in 5 years?
That is a very, very good question. You know, the situation with Africa now. Now, you look at all the big crypto companies in Africa. I won't even talk about blockchain companies. All the big crypto companies in Africa. Binance, Paxful, Hobby. And what have you? Tell me where they are coming from.
Okay.
They are not African companies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fine. We are having Pan-African companies like Qubit.
Okay.
From Nigeria. It's a Ghanaian guy's project, Eric Ohene Edekum, who actually relocated to Abuja, Nigeria, and started this project. And Caesar Cash and other ones are coming up. But most of the companies, there's a bright future for Africa when it comes to crypto. But I am afraid we will end up to be consumers just like all the other kind of technologies and advancement humanity, has witnessed. Africa just become the end user instead of becoming becoming a bigger player in the whole space. I think if you don't work hard and then make use of some of these technologies like smart contract platform that we can build our own things on, or we can build our own smart contract platform that are very, scalable to the African environment where Africans will be able to build their own projects. We will be using this technology massively because we need it here. The future is bright for us, but we end up being end users of the technology. But I think it will solve a lot of problems in this continent and create, well, they said Acorn is coming about 2 years now. I haven't seen any much progress. And I would I see an Acorn that is going to be based in the US and then being pushed into Africa, or it's a project that will be owned by Africans and being pushed by Africans? It all depends on us. Let's start building projects of our own here. Let's have community cryptocurrencies that we can use in our own communities. Let's have cryptocurrencies that we can use at our universities and so on and so forth. That is how we can maximize the benefits of this financial technology.
So do you think in 5 years' time, governments or a lot of people in Africa will actually adopt cryptocurrency, looking at the benefits or impact it will have
I believe so. I believe so. I think 3 days ago, I shared a photo on Facebook of a trotro bus, public transport with a Bitcoin sticker at the back. I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook status. Yeah.
Okay. So we have another question here.
I think very soon, like someone I interviewed a couple of years back was like, I'm telling you, in 10 years' time, even villages in Nigeria will be ordering goods from China with cryptocurrencies. It will be all over the place because we need it. It solves our problems.
Yeah.
It solves our problems. It's what we need.
Another question from Ayodeji. He says, considering your crypto education drive across Africa, what are the most challenging encounters that you ever had?
Yeah, the misconception about I think my biggest challenge has been how scams are making it very difficult to, kind of reach out to people with these technologies. I mean, people who from the word go will dismiss you whenever you start trying to have a conversation or organize something around these things. I went to a prominent university in East Africa and approached the authorities that I was not even talking about crypto, but blockchain technologies. And they just dismissed me and said, oh, that's scam stuff. You want to come and teach it here. You West Africans are always coming to scam us. And that kind of stuff. And Africa is a horrible place. I might say, I love this continent. It's my continent, but it's a horrible continent because we hate ourselves more than outsiders hate us. Look at what is happening now. Somebody died in America and Africans have left their problems and protesting about that. But so many people are being killed in so many African countries by our government and we are not protesting about it. We have xenophobia, we have tribalism. I love what you posted recently on your Facebook by saying that you come from the same region, you are not allowed to marry one another because of your tribal differences, and you have the guts to talk about racism in North America. You see, I could easily connect with that because it's something as a young person growing up, something that has affected me up to now. I still haven't been able to get married because the woman I wanted to get married to wasn't from my tribe, and I wasn't allowed to marry because I was from the wrong tribe. So it's like Africans, basically, we have a long way to go. Like you are from West Africa and everybody is trying to perceive you as like, you have come to scam us with blockchain and cryptocurrencies and that kind of stuff. So for me, that is the biggest challenge in terms of, not even government who have banned cryptocurrencies, because I will not go to a country where they ban cryptocurrencies to try to teach cryptocurrencies or blockchain technologies. And I think only few countries like Ethiopia, Namibia, and then Zimbabwe hasn't banned cryptocurrencies. So basically, let's say these two countries that have actually legally banned cryptocurrencies, where we can't even go and talk about cryptocurrencies there. I was in Namibia, and it was just a wasted effort. I just turned it into a holiday because I couldn't.
Yeah. So another question for you. As a newcomer in the crypto space, what can one do to speed up one's knowledge of the space and maximize the gains in the space?
Come again.
As a newcomer in the crypto space, what can one do to speed up one's knowledge of the space and maximize the gains in the space?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to understand the technology first.
Okay.
You can do that by joining so many networks. These days, we have so many WhatsApp groups talking about cryptocurrency. Don't join those ones talking about investments. Understand the technology first before you take the steps of trying to invest. Because if you don't, you end up burning your hands. So many people got to understand crypto by being burned, by being scammed. What about if you get scammed and then you get discouraged? So you can join some of these WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, Telegram groups. You can study from institutions offering free blockchain technology education like the Africa Blockchain University and so many of them, the Africa Blockchain Alliance, the Africa Blockchain Institute. They are all outlets out there who are offering, some of them are offering free education. I mean, from our perspective, everything you do is free. But sometimes we think that people don't believe free things, people take free things for granted. So they won't take it serious. So as time goes on, you try to charge a small fee that is very important to people. Like say, pay $10 and learn the basis of blockchain technologies with a certified certificate and that kind of stuff. But we are trying to make sure that we get sponsorship for all our programs to teach young people more about the technology. So these are some of the things as a new entrant you can do to widen your understanding of the space in order to move on. There's another way to do this. You can use these when it comes to cryptocurrency. You can use these ranking websites like the CoinMarketCap and the others to learn a lot of things about upcoming projects, the underlying technology, maximum supply, and all those kind of things. Yeah.
Marvelous. So to everyone, there is a link on the chat. You can follow the link to read more about the use cases of stable coins and their benefits. So, and the other question is, with your response about the Pan-African companies, are you saying for now the attention should be on blockchain to push the crypto adoption?
The thing is, blockchain is the mother. Cryptocurrency is a son or a daughter. For me, I will advise everyone to learn blockchain first, the underlying technology first, and then move on to blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and some other stuff they can do with the blockchain.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency is just like 0.02% of the whole blockchain ecosystem. So just that is very popular because it is the first use case. I think the next biggest use case we can have in the ecosystem is gaming, blockchain and gaming. We are going to see a lot of casinos and lotteries adopting blockchain because it's make it easier. And DeFi is definitely going to take a center stage in the use case ecosystem. Because you see gaming, for instance, now if young people with skills to build their own games can easily build decentralized game system on any third blockchain, on any smart contract platform that can be utilized everywhere. You win the lottery or you win the game, you are instantly paid. Everyone can track winnings and all the games that were played. People can even set their own betting. There are platforms now where you can go and bet with your colleague and say, look, or somebody you don't know from anywhere, you can go to the platform and bet with him and say, oh, Manchester is going to win maybe 2-1 against Man City in this upcoming match. So I think, yeah, you need to understand blockchain very well. Move on to blockchain, cryptocurrencies. And then the idea that you can also build things with the blockchain is very important. Young people in Africa should exploit that idea. We are doing certain things like our blockchain camps is basically for that. We let college students and young people with, programming skills, or if you don't even have programming skills, form your team and come to the camp and then design a project with our system. You design a project and we choose the best 3 projects, give them prizes, and then help them with mentors to code the project on it and a blockchain, on a smart contract blockchain, so that we will be able to create projects that will solve problems in our communities, our countries, and the entire continent. Yeah,
that's fine. So with the answers you gave about the challenges or the barriers to crypto adoption or usage in Africa. So this question is from me. What solution do you think we can give to this?
Yeah, so on the government side, I think we should focus on advocacy. We should focus on advocacy by, doing a lot of research to create proof of concepts, something we are focusing on at Africa Blockchain University. And then writing advocacy paper and policy papers to, sway public policy towards the adoption drive and to, engage policymakers to understand the technology. Because as I said, on the government side, it is ignorance and fear of losing control. And you cannot do anything about fear of losing control until you are able to sway public policy. You see, now, for instance, Ghana is trying to embrace digital asset by saying we want to issue our own central bank digital currencies. What can you do to speed this? Let's see you guys organizing seminars and workshops around these areas. I learned you wanted to run a DeFi Africa conference. At least you have a session on CBD and the way to go. Because, if you don't have a strong movement to kind of push for the right regulation, you will end up getting these technologies there, but not the right technology. They can use it as a tool to control people, to track your expenses, and then you lose financial privacy. So it is important that advocacy and then policy drive you concentrate on that to be able to, influence policymakers and then what you call the public, people who influence public decisions. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
but on the other hand, it's all the education you are doing to, overcome the challenges in terms of civil society being ignorant. That is cool. And then for internet, it's all about economic freedom. If your country is economically free, you realize that internet will become cheaper. So for me, I see this movement as something that intertwine with the liberty movement, the economic freedom movement. You can't separate them. Because if people don't have money, how are they going to send money? And you are talking about them using cryptocurrency to send money to someone. They won't be able to send money to anybody. It all comes with economic freedom.
That's right. In fact, thank you very much. I think our time is almost up and we have to speed up so that we could. And I think you've done justice to the questions, and I hope and I believe that everybody is satisfied with your answers and your presentations. For now, we are educating people in DeFi Africa. We're educating people, and we do that with the collaboration of MakerDAO. And then we have some useful sources that people can go to read more. So I think some are in the chat. And then we do this meetup every month. This is the second edition, and we'll be having another in next month. So we can't thank you much, but thank you so much for joining. And
that is always mine. For I've also learned a whole lot of things from you guys today. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And to everyone, please, if you want to be a member of DeFi Africa, you can go to our website. We have a website here. You can go there, check, and then you can join. For now, already we have so many people have already joined, and we need many people to join so that we could take this education seriously, and then everybody can benefit from it. So thank you very much, Frisco Dianconia, and we are happy for having you in this. We hope to have you next time.
The pleasure is always mine.
All right. So thank you. Nice chatting with you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you too.
And for every question, you can reach out to me or to our ambassadors in Africa, which are Sabia for Ghana and Ahmed from Nigeria, who is in this meeting as well, who is called Rashid Ahmed. He also wrote a nice article on smart contracts, which I will publish on the DeFi Africa chat now. And thank you for participating.
Okay, thank you for participating. Bye-bye.
Bye.